Motherload is proudly supported by Fitness World. Your fitness, your way. Motherload is a space for honest conversations about the invisible load women carry: motherhood, wellness, resilience, identity, and everything in between. Because strength isn't about perfection, it's about rebuilding, reconnecting, and becoming who we're meant to be through every season of life. Today's guest is someone I've been lucky enough to call a close friend for many, many years. Over that time, I've watched her wear so many hats: wife, mom of three, volunteer, community advocate, and now municipal council candidate. But the reason I wanted her here today is because she's also one of the women I've always looked up to in motherhood. She's the person I call when I'm overwhelmed and second-guessing myself. She has a way of talking me off the ledge and reminding me that I'm not alone and that we're in this together. Brandy, I am so happy that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
I love you.
Oh my God, that's so sweet. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've been that for me since I can remember, truly. And I really wanted to bring you on this episode because it's obviously all about motherhood. And I really wanted to dive into what modern motherhood really feels like, because I think it's just something that doesn't get talked about enough. And a lot of us just keep quiet and are quietly struggling. And really, we should just be having more of an open conversation with our close friends, and maybe even further, like to our acquaintances, because it is so hard. So whenever I'm crashing out in motherhood, I usually give you the call because I just know you get it.
I appreciate the call.
Yes, yeah.
And it's an honor, so
yes,
thank you.
And thank you for being there for me. And I'm talking to so many women in our social circles who feel the same way. Do you think women today are carrying more than they ever have before?
Oh yeah, way more.
Yeah.
Because you have to work.
Yeah.
You also have to be the mom.
Yeah.
You're also the home manager.
Yeah.
And a lot of women choose to do entrepreneurship, which a lot of people find that to not be true work.
Yes.
So the assumption is that you're doing everything at home and you're having that time, but you really aren't, because you're also working.
Yeah.
So
it's just
the kids stuff, especially as they get older,
yeah.
it feels like every stage is hard, but in a different way.
Yeah, it's just evolving.
Yeah.
And then there's social media too. We're constantly driving these comparisons that previous generations have never had to. And I feel like as a result, we're just like taking on so much more to kind of keep up with the Joneses or keep that perfect, immaculate house, call the friend back, be a good wife, all of the things. When really, like, our mother's generation just didn't have to do these things.
Yeah, no, they'd call the house phone.
Yeah.
And then your kid would hang up on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the fax machine would be going at the same time.
And they wouldn't be stressing about like having this perfect dinner ready and then all of the homework done and getting through sports and all of the things.
Well, and we have, I don't know about you, but we have dinner at 4.
Yeah.
And then we have dinner at like 9:30 at night.
After the sports.
Because everyone's also hungry after we get home. And it's just, I feel like our parents never prepared us for the amount of work it is.
I don't think they stressed as hard either.
No. But it's also different, I find, with the sports.
Yeah.
They're way more intense than I think they've ever been.
I agree. So. Yes. Are we trying to do too much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are trying to do way too much. Like every time I call you, I'm like, I have forgotten 8 things today. I've done one thing out of this list, but the one thing is important.
Yeah.
And everyone's here, everyone's alive.
Right.
We're all doing okay. We all have our health. So I'm like, I try to call that a win.
It's so hard though, honestly. Like, why is it so hard to slow down, do you think, if you had to guess?
I think because we're always on the go. We're always busy. We're always doing the next thing. For me, having 3 kids, I'm stretched so thin for their sports and their activities and their school things, and then work, and then my friends and my husband and the house. And
it's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, and I just find we can't get it all done, and we need to like offload, but it's really hard to offload without having a village of people around us, really.
Yeah.
And
It's really hard to offload without feeling like if you let off the gas, like things are just going to fall apart.
Yeah. And sometimes they do. And they're not always perfect, but
Right.
I think offloading is important.
Yeah.
Otherwise we're going to go crazy.
Burn out anyways. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you
and like I find, I don't know about you, but now that the kids are older.
Yeah. For those at home, how old are your kids again?
13, 12, and almost 11. So they've been in
season.
They're preteens, teens now. So the hormones are insane. But yeah, I just find now we're getting to a stage where we know a lot of the parents through the school and the sports.
Yeah.
So instead of relying on like childcare, you are supporting your friends and your kids' friends, and you're helping each other out.
You're finding
finding a village in a different way.
Right.
Really.
And that's so important. What are the heaviest hitters of the invisible workload for you as a mom of 3?
Oh, I would say the calendar. I don't know about you, but when I look at my calendar, I'm like immediately overwhelmed.
Oh my gosh. That's why I called you last time. I'm like, Brandy,
There's
why
18 things on the calendar.
I literally called you from the baseball field, and I literally called Brandy and I said, girl, why is everything overlapping? Like, how are you doing this? Because we can't even divide and conquer at this point.
No, not with 3.
No. I think that's where we just have to always take a step back and just have that compassion. There's just no way we can do everything and be everywhere at once. What else do you think are the invisible, the things that maybe don't get
I would say
like appreciated?
The appointments and like keeping the house running. Nobody notices when you're keeping the house running until it's not running properly.
Like what's some examples? Like there's no soap in the soap dispenser.
Yeah, so for us, I have been busy all weekend. Jim was away fishing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to go to Costco because the kids had a tournament for lacrosse. Georgia had rehearsals for her dance. And then Gunnar had a million things going on, birthday parties, a school dance. And so while he's away, I'm doing all the driving for all these things, which is great. But then I can't go to the grocery store even.
Okay.
So then we get home, we're trying to make dinner. There's nothing to eat.
And everyone's complaining.
Everyone's complaining that there's never any food. Never any food, or just today. There's no food.
Now I know some people at home are listening going, you got to get Instacart or the deliveries.
Yeah.
I haven't adopted it yet for some reason.
I can't do it.
Tell me why you don't like it.
When you buy this stuff on Instacart or like Costco online, it's actually more expensive than buying it in the store.
It is. Okay, this is clearly not sponsored by Instacart.
But it's more expensive, which is fine. That works for some people. But I'm like, okay, well, I live 10 minutes from Costco. I need to just go.
No, I completely agree with that. We're going to cut for a quick commercial break. But when we return, we're going to be talking about finding your village and why that's so important with modern motherhood. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Motherload. I'm here with my lovely guest, Miss Brandy Gordon. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and I just want to dive right back into our conversation about finding your village because it's so important to me specifically, and I know you. One thing I've always admired about you is that despite having so much on your plate, mom of 3, you've always found ways to give back. We've volunteered together at Victoria Hospitals Foundation and more recently Mamas for Mamas. Why do you think community matters so much, especially for mothers?
I think for me, it means you have a place. And the more that you have, I feel like the more you can give back to people.
Yeah.
And even just like one small thing that you're doing, it might not seem like a lot to you, but it could be like a huge thing for someone else.
Yes.
Like change their whole day.
Yeah.
Change their whole week.
Well, we know firsthand from Mamas for Mamas when we go to these events and we're doing our pop-up karma markets, like we've seen the look in these moms' faces who are getting some diapers and some formula. Like it's
basic needs.
Basic needs. And it just brings so much fulfillment for us to be of service in our community, especially a community like Vancouver Island, which we're tight knit
and it's small. It's a small community. It feels bigger than it is, but really we're all in the same little community.
Absolutely.
We're all intertwined.
And like you said, it just gives you a place. Like motherhood specifically can be so isolating, and you know, especially during COVID, raising twins and another boy during COVID, like it just social media was a big piece of that. But when I finally got back out there into the world and seeing people and faces again, and just community is everything, and it can really support that season of isolation in parenthood and motherhood. And
being a parent is amazing, but we also need to have our own purpose. We need to have our own, and show our kids that they have their own purpose, really.
And a sounding board, like as much as it's great when we get support from our parents, it can be few and far between. And just knowing that we have this like moms that understand, and that's my relationship with you. And am I going crazy, or are you like feeling this way too?
No, and we're all in the same boat. And I think that's why it's important to, like, not so much just for sports, but sports in general, the sports communities. You're finding parents and you're finding families that have similar values and similar morals and similar lifestyles.
Exactly.
Where they're busy and they're out there and they're trying to give back, and they're volunteering as a manager or a coach, and they're volunteering their time to do the scorekeeping, timekeeping, and like
tournament. It's an investment that some of our friend groups just don't understand. So that's why I feel like we have these
It's good. It's nice to have people who are on the same page, and they understand when you have a Saturday and your other friends who have kids that don't play sports, their Saturday is completely free, and then you look at your schedule and there's 8 soccer games, 4 lacrosse games, a hockey game, a birthday party, and you get it all done. But it's chaos.
Do you have times where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore with all this like tournament?
Yeah.
Do you like crash out?
I call it my burnout time. Sometimes when I get home from like a very long Saturday of sports, I go to my room and I'm like, nobody bug me for literally 15 minutes. I just need to lay in my bed by myself and just like, I lay in my bed like a statue, like just
I love it.
With nothing, with no noise or anything. I just need to like decompress.
Yeah, I usually just get in the bath and have like a magnesium salt moment. And now my kids are picking the lock.
Oh yeah, no, my kids have a little. They always have, you know, the metal hangers. They always like bend them, and then they get into my. I'm like, oh, okay, well, but the kids are getting older now, like mine are, so they don't necessarily always need me in the same way, but they need me for different things.
You're right.
It's like small kids, small problems, big kids, big problems.
Yeah. And it's going to continue to evolve, I'm sure.
Yeah,
It's
really
interesting.
It's fun.
Do you think we've lost some of the village that previous generations had?
I do think that we've lost the village in like more of a family sense, because a lot of people don't live near their families. And also like when our parents were parents raising us, our grandparents were all retired.
Yeah, I feel like everybody was around a lot more.
They were always retired for some reason. I don't know if it's like that's the case for everyone, but like everyone's grandparents were always around.
Right.
Whereas our generation, especially here in Victoria, it's so expensive to live.
They're still working.
Everybody still works.
It's so sad to think about that. Yeah.
They are available, but not to the same extent. And, and you know, like as a parent, you know that they're doing the best they can to be part of it. But
I know it's tough.
Yeah.
And that just drives home the point of like why we need to find our like a different kind of village. We need to cultivate these community circles like sports and school. And if our parents are available, that's a bonus. But it's just different these days.
It is different.
And finding the right friend groups is really so important. I think it's really helped me get through some.
And your kids' friends.
Yes.
If the kids get along, and then all the siblings get along, and then the moms get along, and then the dads get along, and everyone can do things together, that's like a unicorn family.
And you got to continue to nurture that and have them over for dinner more often.
And it's so great.
Yeah, it's really important. What role has community played in helping you get through the hard seasons?
Just having someone to talk to, really.
Yeah.
I find for me, I'm so busy all the time that the only time I really see other adults is right now. And when I'm at the kids' sports.
Right.
So me and a bunch of the lacrosse moms, the kids are now at the age where they have to get dropped off like at least an hour and 15 minutes early for the games and the practices.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So we're sitting around for at least an hour and a half before a game starts. So now we've decided we're playing pickleball. So now we sign up for we'll find wherever the game is and we'll sign up for a little pickleball court and we'll just go for a little pickleball while the kids are warming up and then we go watch the game. It's great.
That's a good idea. I know.
It's really nice to do something for yourself when you're in that space where you're sitting around waiting.
Yeah, and just finding these friendships within those same
they're the
circles.
best friendships. They're so fun.
But that's a good idea. I gotta
take
your...
Oh yeah, the outdoor JDF ones.
Okay.
That's where we've been going. And it's cheap. It's $16.
Oh my God.
For 2 hours.
Okay. I want to just do that with you just because.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're just going to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, we're going to be talking all about how Brandy's a few seasons ahead of me in motherhood and how she's really supported me along the way. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Motherload. I'm here with my lovely guest, Brandy Gordon, and we have 6 kids between us. So we're just talking about all things motherhood right now and truly how challenging it is. It's a beautiful, chaotic journey. But I wanted to talk a bit more about how your kids have always been a few seasons ahead of mine. I remember when we used to work out at the same gym together and your kiddos would be running away from you on the street in 3 different directions with no shoes on. And I just had my firstborn at home and I remember just pure admiration for you because you would just do it with such grace and poise. And I just thought you're such a super mom and you still are. But as we've gotten older, it's just always, you got your kids are just a little further ahead of mine. And I've always just kind of followed your path. But I guess my question for you is, looking back, what do you wish someone had told you when your kids were younger? You can take a second to think on it.
Oh, that's a hard one. Because I don't think I would have listened, even if they did tell me.
That's a good question. That's a good answer. It's true. But if you had
I think maybe if someone said being in survival mode is okay.
Yeah.
Because you almost feel a little bit guilty if you aren't the best every day.
Yeah.
You know, because your kids wake up and you're I just had a bad day, and you put them to bed and you felt frustrated or sad because you just didn't handle it the right way. I think that I probably would have just said to myself, it's okay to be in survival mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because not every day you're going to be in survival mode. So it's okay to have a couple of days where it's not perfect.
Or
it's
the majority of the month.
or the year. Or,
Yeah.
But just giving yourself more grace.
Yes.
To not be perfect.
Yeah. No, I actually think that's...
And not handle everything perfectly.
When I had the twins just home from the hospital, I remember you came to visit me and I felt like I needed to fix my appearance or whatever. And you came over and that was one of the pieces of advice that you had for me. You were it's okay. You don't have to look perfect. You don't have to be this certain way. And I've just carried that with me, unfortunately, for so long now. And I feel as I get into my later 30s, I'm finally you just can't, you can't keep up with the old ways.
And I feel the older I get, the less I care. Yeah. I don't know about you, but
it's true.
The things that I've left the house in lately, I'm a little bit concerned for myself.
No,
I'm oh my God.
But honestly, it's one of those things you just have to let go of as you get older. And the longer you resist, the more
well, it's just doing damage to yourself.
Yeah. When you're in the thick of it, what do you wish women could see from the other side? I know you kind of just answered a similar question, but...
when you're in the trenches, as we call them?
Yeah.
I would say that every stage and every day goes by like feels really slow.
Yeah.
But then every year goes by really quick.
Yeah.
So I would never say enjoy the moment, because that's really cheesy and annoying. And nobody wants to hear that when they're going through
And it's all over
hell.
social media how you're supposed
I would just
to
say
do
just
that.
be okay with some days. I don't know about you, but my kids loved popsicles when they were little, but I hated popsicles because I was always trying to keep the house clean, right?
Yes.
I'm always trying, and they're sticky and they stain things and they're everywhere, and I can never keep the kids sitting. So I would always give them the popsicles in the bath.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like the cleanest way that I
Yes.
could give them a popsicle.
Yeah.
So that was like small things like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't sweat it.
Yeah, don't sweat
Yeah.
the small
And like
stuff.
all the messes that they make, like they'll get cleaned up eventually. The laundry will get folded eventually.
Yeah, a lived-in home is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Your house is always really, really beautiful when I come over. Mine, on the other hand,
Well, I have more of an OCD personality, but even sometimes I let it go. And my family's like, what's going on here? Why isn't the laundry
they're
folded?
so conditioned. And
I'm like, fold your own laundry.
Yeah.
And then I just lose my crap.
okay, now so you said your kids are a bit older. Like, what's an age-appropriate responsibility for them? You know, like let's say a 10-year-old versus a 5-year-old. My twins are 5. Like, how can we get them to help out around the house a bit more? Because I've got the skylight calendar.
I'm ready to ask that question as well.
Have you got them
It's
doing
like
a little
pulling
bit?
teeth. They do stuff.
Yeah.
But they're so busy with sports
Right.
and school and homework and everything that it is hard to. They always have to keep their room clean, and they have to put away their own laundry.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And pick up after themselves.
Pick up after themselves.
Those are I think the main 3, right?
Leave it how you came into it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
But it's not always perfect, so
Right.
don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
one more question before I got some rapid fire for you.
Oh, God.
What's gotten easier as your kids have gotten older?
Oh, the easiest thing would be like being out of imminent danger. When they're toddlers, like everything is like dangerous. Like they go to like the edge of a cliff and you're like, oh my God, they're gonna jump off this cliff. Or like a loft in a hotel room, like, you know, the lofts, they always wanna lean over the loft edge.
Jeez. When did you turn a corner with that? Because my twins are 5 and they're still doing
Probably 7 or 8.
Okay.
And then you're like, oh, okay. Like nobody's gonna, you know, eat laundry detergent or like just the weirdest things.
It's tough. I have to say that's one of the hardest parts for me is being so hyper vigilant all the time with that kind of stuff. Okay, quick rapid fire questions for you before we have to say goodbye here. Okay. Most underrated parenting hack?
Calling a friend.
Yeah.
Call a friend. Help. Call a friend.
Help. Yeah, it's true. One thing moms worry about too much.
Keeping their kids happy.
Oh, I love that one. Motherhood is blank.
It's chaotic.
Yeah. It really
it's a lot of chaos.
I love your honesty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Brandy, thank you so much for coming on today. It was so wonderful to chat with you and be really real about what we're going through. And thank you to Fitness World for sponsoring this episode and for you at home for tuning into Motherload. We'll see you on the next one. Love you so much.
Thank you.